Welcome to the Ditch the Struggle podcast. I'm your host, Alana Rosso. I'm a graphic designer turned career and success coach who knew I could do better, but kept falling short of where I wanted to go. But after years of exploring personal and career development, business, money mindset, and energy work, I'm here to tell you that yes, you can move from stuck and defeated to empowered and confident. Ready to dive in? Awesome. Together, let's ditch the struggle. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm actually thrilled to be back. I couldn't do any recording for a couple weeks. I got hit with a cold. You can hear it when I have the interview or the conversation with Jean Retief. I talk about it in the intro, but the reason why it's like so shocking to me is I haven't been sick in 2 years and 9 months. So I went 2 years and 9 months without any kind of cold or flu. And I know the date because the last time I was sick, it was like a flu from hell. It was crazy. But I don't really get sick. And I was really hoping to make it to the 3-year mark. I didn't, and I've recovered fine. It wasn't that bad, but I was so congested. I couldn't really talk. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I want to talk. I had so many things to say. So I've been recording a bunch of episodes tonight because I have to play catch up, and it's good to be able to sort of talk almost normally at this point. But yeah, I'm really glad I have that belief system that I don't really get sick. So it works most of the time, but I guess in this case, I got a little bit of one. And I am going to talk about like a little bit of a health update, not because you guys are dying to know what's going on with my health, but because I am someone who experiments with all different modalities, and I've been sharing them on other episodes, all the different things I've tried. And I did a couple episodes last year. Is it last year now? Talking about some of my chronic pain and like a lot of knee pain, and then like just my body completely out of alignment and just some really bad pain days. And I've done a lot since to kind of help get my body inflammation down and to feel better. And some of it is working, and you know what? Some of it's not working, or some of it is not helping. And I do think it's important to talk about when stuff doesn't work and you feel frustrated, because I will say I'm having a hard time feeling like I'm not making a lot of progress. And I mean, yeah, like wondering what to do. And last night I was sitting on the porch with Declan. We sit there like old people and just like sit outside on the front porch and watch the world go by and the dogs go by. And I was like, what would you do in my situation? Like, if you weren't really feeling that much better, what would you do? And he's like, that's a good question, because we approach things very differently. I'm like very action oriented, and sometimes I just go too much action. And he didn't really have much of an answer for me, because he's like, I can tell, you're trying a lot of things and some minor progress. So I'm going to tell you what I think has kind of been working. I talked last fall. I started, I guess, last September, or maybe last fall, late October, maybe. I did some IV therapy to try and get my cortisol down, because I'm having like a lot of high cortisol. And I'm very stressed a lot of the time. And it's not just really about work. I don't stress about, like, sometimes I stress about work, but there's just a lot of things going on in the world that stress me out. And I'm, in one hand, totally relaxed about things, like very detached. But I think there's an undercurrent going on within my body that's not relaxed and not happy about things. And the other thing that's like a huge, huge factor, and I know for my dog lovers listening, you're going to understand this, is like we have a very senior dog. She's like 16 now. And you're in that phase, you're in like the golden years where anything can happen anytime. So it just can change on a dime. And you are so grateful that you've had so much time with your pet. We didn't get her till she was 7. So Dolly is our rescue, and she's a dachshund mix. She's from Virginia. We drove 16 hours to get her because I saw a picture of her online, and I was like, I have to get this dog. She is my girl, and she's been amazing. But we're going through like the senior time. And I think we're on high alert all the time because we just don't know what's going to happen. And she's pretty high maintenance right now. There's a lot that we have to do. She is on eye drops, 3 different eye drops 4 times a day. That is mainly on me because I'm working at home. And each round of drops takes me half an hour because they're 10 minutes apart. So it's a lot. And there's just other things. And so there's a lot to take care of there, but you're also just like, you can't really relax. And I think it makes sense that I'm going to be feeling the stress from that, right? Because as I always talk about, I love her more than everybody else. She's my favorite, right? And there's just people who are animal people, and I'm just one of those people. I just connect with animals, and they're the type of, I want to hang out usually with animals over people, right? So there's that. But the IVs definitely helped in getting me feeling like more energized and the cortisol down. Some other things that I was doing, again, this is mainly kind of back, hip, and knee pain, and it tends to be on my left side. I did talk about doing Bowen therapy, which I'll link the episode below where I talk a little bit more about that. And that's really trying to create relaxation between your fascia. It's a very gentle technique. I did 17 sessions. I was very committed. So that's one thing about me is like, I will commit. I will go, because you can't just be like, I'm just going to go once and see how it goes. Like, unless you have a really bad feeling about it, or it just, you feel way worse. You have to give things time, and I am a patient person. So that's why I also think it's interesting for me to talk about these experiences, because I'm someone who will really go for it. Like, sometimes I try things once, but for the most part I go. So, and while I felt like there was some really cool things that happened, interestingly, a lot of childhood memories would come up, and I would feel like I had to resolve those. Or Declan noticed that after Bowen sessions, I would bring something up from like 10 years ago, or just random. And he's like, why are you like talking about this? Like, where is this coming from? Like, he kept saying that, where is this coming from? I was like, I don't know, but clearly I have to move this out of my body or my system. Some days I felt better from Bowen, some days I didn't. I would say overall, if I'm sitting here right now, do I feel like way better than I did when I started? I can't say there's a huge difference. Some days I felt better, some days I'm not. Right now, actually today I was not having a great physical day. So I was like, yeah, let's record it now and talk about it. So that, I feel like it ran its course and I got what I needed out of it. I've kind of returned back to working more intensely with my osteopath/homeopath. She's just difficult to get into. So the truth is that there's a lot of days where I don't feel great. For some reason, it's that whole thing, like, I need to crack the code. Like, what is it that's causing this root cause of pain? My body doesn't want to hold alignments. Like, if I do go to the chiropractor a couple days later, it goes right back. So there's I'm very stubborn, and I feel like my body is really holding on to a lot of stuff. And at the heart of it, it's, I think, still emotional pain, emotional trauma, even though I've done so much to improve my life. Like, I rarely get a migraine. I talk about that in, the trailer. It's like all about how I had so many migraines, all those things. There's so much that is much better for me. Like, I really don't get sick. I really don't get migraines anymore. I'm winning in a lot of areas. I have a lot of great mental focus still. I have a lot of energy for the most part, but like, I really wish my body would feel better. So, moved on from Bowen and have been doing some myofascial massage therapy. Now, I've only done 3 sessions. What was interesting, and I drove really far to go to these sessions because there's not a lot of people that do this. If you go back to episode 20, you'll hear me talk to Sue Ruhe, who is a myofascial therapist, massage therapist, and I was really fascinated by the modality. Really great practitioner that I've been seeing who's closer to me. The 3 sessions were interesting because after each one, it was like I took a tranquilizer. So I know my body was getting into its parasympathetic nervous system. It was relaxing. Now, again, did I notice huge shifts in pain? No. Did I feel way better? No. I didn't feel the way I was hoping to feel. And nothing was long-term, maybe a couple days of pain slightly alleviated, but nothing major. So again, I haven't gotten to the root cause. Maybe I'm not meant to get to the root cause yet. And this is how I kind of managed to keep going when you're mentally very exhausted from both physical pain and just like going to appointments and like doing all this stuff and feeling like limited. There is something to be said about divine timing, and that this will I do believe it will shift, but it's there's more for me to figure out. There's maybe more people for me to see, more practitioners, more things I have to try. Like that's the thing. I'm not going to stop trying. Partly because I'm just such a curious person, and it's like I want to go see, like when I hear about some modality I haven't heard of. Like I just heard about German new medicine. I don't know how I didn't hear about this before. I don't know much about it, but I was like, oh my God, that, and then it came up all these different places. So that could be something to go down that rabbit hole. But for those of you that are like frustrated and struggling and trying to like, you're spinning, you feel like you're spinning your wheels. I get it. When I do get really in my head about that, I will consciously take time out to kind of do nothing or to stay as quiet as I can or just do as much meditation as I can to just get back to listening to what my body needs and then hopefully be led in the right direction to the modalities that will help me. And I do set that intention. I will just say like, I talk to my head or whoever is listening, like, show me what I need to see, hear, or do in order to speed this recovery and to kind of heal. So I do set that intention that I'm led in the right direction, and I tend to hear about new things, and the timing tends to be pretty interesting the way things work out. But again, I'm not. At the flip side, is also frustrating because I keep going to practitioners who are like, people say, I'm the person people go to when they've tried everything, and then I help them, and I'm still not feeling like I'm getting where I want to go. And plus, I've spent so much money. And so I have another thing that I'm spending a lot of money on, which is my next thing to try. Sidebar though, I'm going to do an episode on kind of free and inexpensive healing modalities and things that you can do. Because I feel like I have been talking about a lot of things I've been doing that have been expensive, such as the IV treatments. Not everything I do is like that. There's so much you can do that doesn't cost much money. But having said that, I'm going to talk about one more thing that I'm going to try. That is, this one's $1,100, and I've been wanting to do this for about five years. Timing just didn't work out for a bunch of reasons, and then my sports med doctor, who's going to perform this procedure, went on mat leave, and just I had to wait a long time for an MRI. So there's a lot of things going on in my body, but one of them, a huge thing that has happened, that is happening, is that I have a complex tear in my meniscus. So not just a single tear, but like my knee, if we were just to summarize it, is a hot mess. I believe it can be healed. I'm going to get better, but there's a lot going on, and arthritis and all this other stuff. And as I've kind of just consciously figured out, and like honestly, I think I was talking it through in one episode, when I figure skated back in the day and I figure skated for like 15 years because I started at the age of 4. My left leg was my landing leg. So it has taken a beating, like basically a repetitive strain injury for a long time. My sports med doctor is definitely confirming that she's like, yeah, that's going to have a huge impact on what's happening right now. So crazy. What we do as a kid affects us as adults, both physically and mentally. We just can't escape that traumatic childhood. Well, I loved my skating days, but here we go. I'm going to try something that my friend's done that was really helpful for his shoulder, and that is called a PRP injection, which is a platelet-rich plasma injection. And she's giving me a 75% chance that this will help my knee, and I have it scheduled for about a month from now. So I will follow up and kind of let you guys know how that goes, because it can be really helpful. And I'm going to read like from my little pamphlet from the office what this is, because I don't think a lot of people know what a PRP is. I just heard about it again about maybe 5 years ago. What I really like about this is it's not heavily relying on pharmaceuticals, because it starts with your own blood. So let me just read this little paragraph and then we'll dive into it. So what is platelet-rich plasma injection? Platelet-rich plasma, PRP, is created from a small sample of your own blood using a centrifuge. Your blood sample is separated into its different components, yielding a concentrate of your platelets, a type of blood cell. Platelets are used in several different ways, including helping your blood clot when you are injured and releasing growth factors that are helpful in recovering from an injury. The platelet concentrate is then injected into the damaged area under ultrasound guidance. Performing the injection under ultrasound guidance is helpful in ensuring accuracy of placement. Let's hope so. Once injected, the PRP works to reduce pain and improve function for patients suffering from osteoarthritis and/or tendonitis. So hopefully this is going to reduce pain. And so the concept is very basically they take blood out, They smush it in a centrifuge. I think there's a few coagulants or things like that that have to be put in there. And then they put it back into you, inject it, and apparently it is really painful and the needle is really huge. And I've heard that it's pretty traumatic for a lot of people. So I am going to have to go into my most zen state. I'm not that terrified of needles. I don't love it. But I'm very much, I will endure a short-term pain or trauma for long-term gain. Like I will do this. I have to have Declan bring me because you can get a little bit feeling lightheaded or yuck after. But some people it really works. And, I prefer this kind of route than having to put cortisone injections and all that stuff. Actually, I once had a cortisone injection and surprise, surprise, my body rejected it. It did not like it. It just doesn't like stuff. I don't put anything in it unless I have to. So this injection has got the blessing from my osteopath / homeopath. She's on board with this. She thinks it could be good for me as well. She's been working a lot on my body. So this is my next thing. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what happens. And it's not covered by any kind of insurance. So it's $1,100. But you do get to the point where you don't care because you are so desperate. And I'm going to see if this is just going to at least alleviate the area of that pain, like that specific pain, and see how I feel. Here's the thing. I'm going to keep trying. As I said, I'm not stopping until I really get to the root cause. Now, I don't think this is necessarily solving the root cause, but it's certainly going to be pain management. And it's a pretty low risk. I don't have to worry so much that my body will reject this because it's pretty well my own blood. So, sorry, this is kind of gross to be talking about blood. I hope you guys aren't eating dinner. I have a friend that does that. She'll just like flip the TV or want to talk about like surgery while you're eating. Like, please, no, let's not do that. But I'm a little bit squeamish. But again, I will suck it up, buttercup, for the sake of feeling better. So the other thing that I've been kind of doing is just really keeping as many anti-inflammatory foods, like keeping my diet as anti-inflammatory as possible. That helps a little bit, but I'm going to say something that's also a little bit like not controversial, but it's that the biggest changes in my health have never really come from like eliminating a food from my diet or adding a food into my diet. It's definitely supported for sure. Like, I mean, I can't eat a lot of sugar and I've been weaning off, like having so little of it over the years that if I have too much, I turn like completely psychotic and my God, am I cranky the next day? So that's not good. But the biggest changes in like my whole health have not really come from diet. It's come from more the movement. So like exercise and movement and any emotional work that I've done on myself. So that's why like doing something like everything from coaching to therapy to doing a Reiki energy healing session, those type of things have a much more profound effect on me and my body and my health. And I think it's different for everybody else. And I'm not working with an autoimmune disease. It's not like someone who eats gluten their whole life and then realizes they're celiac. Well, of course, they're going to have their whole life transformed if they cut out gluten, right? So I'm not in that position. But I think when you kind of have your emotions in check and like you're doing that kind of work and you're in a nice vibration and you're feeling balanced, that you can kind of get away with eating whatever a little bit more or not having to have this perfectly clean diet because your body is just like knows how to process toxins and knows how to process everything. This is just my interpretation. This is like not based on, I'm not, giving you any scientific studies here, but just for me, it's more important kind of how I'm dealing with my emotional stuff. And that's what really affects my physical self as well. So the exploration continues. I'm going to keep going. And I have some practitioners that are going to come on the show to talk about some cool stuff that they're doing. I'm never going to stop exploring this stuff. And it's not only that not one thing works for every person, that's part of it, but also it's all about the timing, like when you end up doing a modality, when you end up trying something. Like who knows, even this PRP injection, if I had done it 5 years ago, maybe it wouldn't have worked as well as now because I've been doing a lot more strength training on my spin bike. So I'm feeling stronger to go into something like this. The really sucky thing is I won't be able to do anything for 2 weeks after. I have to sloth it out. I have to not walk, not move. I can't do anything. And I have to kind of take crutches and be on them and not exert any weight on that knee. So that'd be interesting to have to slow down. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe this is a great way for me to completely sloth it out. And maybe that's what I need. That's maybe what my body needs right now. And this is kind of the vehicle this is the thing I'm going to do to put myself into that sloth state. I call it sloth, but I guess we'll call it maybe a restful state. Would that be a better way to reframe it? Anyways, we'll see what happens, and I'm staying hopeful, and I will keep you guys posted. Take care. Thank you for joining me today on Ditch the Struggle. You showing up here means so, so much to me. To dig deeper into the topics discussed today and to learn about my work, visit alanarosa.com. And don't forget to download your free resources while you're there. And if this episode resonated with you, please share with others who also want to ditch the struggle. Go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, leave a rating and a review, and let me know what you'd like to see more of on this podcast. And before I go, I want to leave you with my 3 favorite ways to ditch the struggle. Be your own best advocate, take baby steps for the win, and forget about a linear career path. It's overrated and you are doing just fine. See you next time.